Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to meet US President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the G7 summit. Bilateral ties have been strained following the deaths of 3 Indian seafarers in the US strike on a commercial vessel in the Gulf of Oman. The Indian Foreign Ministry formally protesting the incident. And for more, Ishan Garg joins us live covering the story for CNA from New Delhi. Ishan, how can we expect Mr. Modi to approach this meeting with US President given recent tensions?
Well, this is going to be a very important meeting because it comes at a rare moment when we are not seeing news and headlines about the Modi-Trump bonhomie so much as we are hearing about the strain in this relationship. This, of course, comes just days after India summoned top US diplomat here in New Delhi by the Ministry of External Affairs to issue strong protest after US military strikes killed 3 Indian sailors. And this incident was referred by the Prime Minister as well in his G7 speech, where he made it a point to say that the safety of international waters, the safety of passageway in international waters, referring to the Strait of Hormuz, is of vital importance. In the same speech, he also talked about how there is a huge trust deficit in this world, and that many analysts are seeing as a foreshadowing of the conversation that will take place between Prime Minister Modi and President Donald Trump, with many opposition leaders, civil society leaders here in New Delhi calling on the Indian government to take a very strong stance against the US, especially after a statement from US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, which detailed a phone conversation between him and India's Minister of External Affairs, talked about this particular issue, but US failed to apologize for those deaths, and that has struck a raw nerve here in New Delhi. Many experts believe that this will be brought up. However, there will be other items on the agenda. One of them is going to be trade, as both countries have been hammering out a deal, and there could be progress on that front, we expect.
Now, Ishan, do we know what Prime Minister Modi's other priorities at this year's G7 summit?
Well, one of India's key priorities at this G7 summit comes at a time when India is also chairing the BRICS bloc. And as a part of that whole idea, the push from the Indian side is for the voice of the Global South to be put front and center in these discussions. We saw India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday talking about how important it is to connect various regions of the world with one another. He specifically talked about how it's important for Latin American countries, African countries and Pacific islands to be connected to global trade routes. And he also talked about the idea that the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor that was envisioned 3 years ago, something of that nature needs to be envisioned for the Global South as well. And he also talked about the fact that while many countries are facing an aging population, the Global South is where the burgeoning talent lies, and therefore these countries need to be enmeshed into the global economic order a lot more in a lot more profound manner. Apart from that, there are also bilateral discussions. We understand that Prime Minister Modi has met with several world leaders, including the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and also the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, describing his talks with the world leaders as very productive and fruitful.
Well, thank you very much for that update. Ishan Garg covering this story for CNA live from New Delhi.